You're listening to the Lazenby Experience podcast with your host, Joshua Lazenby. The Lazenby Experience podcast is a podcast to help individuals find their way to their success. Whether it's going to a four-year university, community college, trade school, or anything else, my goal is to be a resource to help you along the way. I'll be sharing my personal ups and downs, as well as tips as I continue my journey to receive my bachelor's degree in electrical engineering. I will also have guests to share their stories, advice, and experiences. So come along for the ride as you begin your journey to your success. Oh, welcome to the first episode of the Lazenby Experience podcast. I am super excited to get started, and I can't wait to help you guys find your journey to your success, or help you along your journey to your success. So this first episode, I think it will apply to a lot of people, whether you're young or older, that can help you start working on your personal finance, and that's working on a personal budget. I've been working on my personal budget for a few years now, and I have this, I think, great Excel sheet to help me keep track of all the things that come in my account, that leaves my account, and I think it would definitely be able to help you guys as well. I do want to do a small disclaimer that I am not a financial advisor or account professional or anything like that, so please take this as my personal advice and not anything like big, or I'm not professional. Let's just keep it at that. Okay, so like I said already, this episode, and also let me do one more disclaimer. Since this is my first podcast, I keep my own notes, so I will be looking up and down throughout the episode. So don't fault me for that, because I am new and I'm trying to do this thing. So I'm excited, but I also want to make sure I'm prepared. So that's the whole thing. So like I said, this episode will be about keeping track of your personal finances. But the only way that this method will work for you is if you actually work it. So you can't, it's not automatic. You can't just purchase something and then it automatically goes into some kind of spreadsheet. At least I'm not at that point yet. Every year I do have a small update that I do myself of my personal budget template. But it's not at the level where you can just not look at it. And to be honest, if you don't look at your finances and you just purchase something and you don't know what it is that you purchase and you're not keeping track of it, it's kind of hard to realize, figure out what you need to work on in order to help better your finances. Like I said, I do have a copy of this template, and you will be able to get a copy of this template. I will just need you to do a couple small things. You will have to subscribe to my YouTube channel, The Lazenby Experience, like my Facebook page, also The Lazenby Experience, and just either DM me or email me at lazenbyexperience@gmail.com, or DM me on Facebook and let me know that you did that. I will gladly send you over a copy of it. It's not anything secret. Like I said, I want to help you along your journey so you can be successful. So this is just my way of doing that. Sorry. So who I think this template is really for, number one, is people who don't already have a way of keeping track of their budget. So if whether you're in high school, whether you're an adult with a full-time job, a lot of us never really kept track of our budget. We just purchase something, then we look at our account to see if we got enough money to purchase something else. And that's just how we go. We don't know what the money is going in, where the money is going, and we probably don't even know how much money is coming in every month. So this is for those people to get started on that. This will also help people who maybe have a way, but it's not working for them. So maybe you use an app. Maybe you have your own method, but you see that it doesn't look accurate, or you're not doing it consistently. Maybe this can be something new that can help you along that way as well. I really think this would be helpful for college students, whether it's your first year in college or your fourth or fifth year in college. I think at that age of going to college, you are really starting your adult life. So being able to manage your budget and manage your finances at a young age will definitely help you. So once you graduate, get a nice job, start a family, you'll be ahead of the game and be able to keep track of your finances and know what's going in and know exactly what's going out, and be able to be successful financially. And then I also think this would definitely be helpful to high school students as well, who maybe got their first job, maybe at like a McDonald's or a Target or something like that, and help you keep track. Keep track of how much money you're bringing in every month, how much money you're taking out every month, and of course, as you're younger, you got less bills, but still, you might have a phone bill. You might have Hulu and Netflix and that kind of stuff. So keeping track of your finances at a very young age, like in high school, will definitely put you far ahead of the game, even more than people who started at college, because you'll be able to go into college being able to know your financial situation and be able to know, okay, this is how much money I bring in every month. If I make this amount of money, but what if I get another job that I can get that increase my income? Then I make this amount of money and I can spend this amount of money. So definitely in high school, I think this would definitely be useful for them as well. And then, of course, why do you think it's important to keep um, to keep track of your finances? I have two important reasons why. The first one, it puts you in control of your finances. If you don't know what's going in and you don't know what's coming out, you kind of just in a space of not knowing, and you're like, I hope I can pay my bills this month. I hope I can go get some food this month. Well, if you have track of your finances, you know exactly how much money you spend on average, how much money you spend on food every month, how much you spend on gas. So you'll be able to be more control of that and be able to either dial down when you know you're spending too much, or be able to save some money if you're not spending as much as you thought you would. And then, kind of going off the first one, you know exactly what's going into your account, you know exactly what's coming out of your account. And you might not know exactly what day, but you know in the month of January, I spent this much money on food. In the month of February, I spent this amount of money on food. So I can know, okay, in March, I'm probably gonna spend around this much money, and then I'll be able to work with that. And whether if you lose income, you'll know, okay, I need to dial down a little bit, or how much you need to dial down. And if you get some extra income, you'll know how much you can save. So I will be doing a tutorial on on a template of my personal budget template. So I'll be doing that in a few seconds. So if you keep watching, and if you want this template, you'll be able to know how to use it. And it's very easy, but I just want to make sure that when you get the template, you'll know what to look for, how to use it, and then you can also ask questions to me. Again, if you DM me, or if you email me at lazenbyexperience@gmail.com, I'll be more than willing to help you work through anything you might have questions for. So, on that note, here is my personal budget. All right, I am back. Have my computer set up here. You should be able to see the screen, as well as me looking at the camera as I do this tutorial of my personal budget template. Like I said before, this template will be available to you. All you have to do is subscribe to my YouTube channel, and then like my Facebook page, and then either DM me or email me at lazenbyexperience@gmail.com. Let me know that you did both, and I will gladly send this template over to you. I think it's very easy to use, but again, like a lot of things, you have to know where everything is, so you can use it to the best way you can. Okay, so basically, with my personal budget, I have three main pages. As you can see, it's more than 3 pages because you have the proposal budget, you have the overview, and then you have one thing for every single month. But every single month is the same thing. So I'm not going to go over January, February, March, April, May, and all of that. I'm just going to go over the first one, and then it's just a duplicate for the rest of the months. So the first one, the first page I'm going to talk about is the proposed budget. So this is basically where I keep everything that I am expecting to pay every month, as well as how much money I'm bringing in every month. So as you can see on the screen, I have expenses. So these are all the bills that you have to pay every month. And then I also have one for miscellaneous, because sometimes you don't know about what's going to happen if you get a flat tire. You need to get something emergency. You can put budget for that as well. And then you also have income. So some people have multiple jobs. I have multiple jobs. So I also have job 1 and job 2. Like I said at the beginning, if you do have questions about maybe you have 3 jobs, you want to add a third one, I can show you how to do that as well. So all you have to do is email me or DM me, and I can help you with that as well. So you can put the name of your job. Again, you put the name of the bill on here, as well as the name of the job. And then the third column I have, it's called investment. So maybe you have a 401k, maybe you have some investment properties, maybe you have some stock in some kind of in some companies. You can definitely put the name of that and then put the amount, and again the total will come up right here. I'm a big I like to see things represented in multiple ways, so that's why I have these boxes here as well. These boxes will end up being a pie chart. So once you put it in the bill, so let's put in a couple of bills. I'm not gonna put in all of them. So let's say rent, let's say phone, and then let's say car note. So of course you might have more than that, but as you can see, it's populated on the pie chart as well. And so let's say my rent is $600 a month. Let's say my phone bill is $100 a month, and let's say my car note is $250 a month. So as you can see, as I put in those amounts as well as those titles, it populated inside the pie chart. So now you know how much money you're spending, kind of visually, on your expense report or budget. So you'll see I'm spending 63% of 63% of my bills are coming from my rent. 26% is coming from my car note, and then 11% is coming from my phone bill. And then it gives you a total. So I'm spending $950 a month on my bills. And of course, people have different bills, so it's not gonna be that amount, of course. So let's erase this for now, and then put back bill 1. Let's see, 10 1, bill 2, and bill 3, and then let's erase this as well. And then the same thing works with the income. You put the name of your job. Maybe you have your own business. You can put the name of your business and how much money you think you'd be making every month. And then miscellaneous, again, sometimes you get money that you didn't know you was going to get. Maybe for a birthday or a bonus from work or something like that. I put that in miscellaneous because it's not really, it don't come every month, but it might come. And then investment. Let's talk about savings. So after you put your expenses and after you put your income, it's going to subtract the expenses from your income, and anything left over will be in your savings. So your proposed savings every month that you can possibly get. Um, if your expenses are higher than your income, this will be in parentheses, which means you're in a negative. So that means every month, after you pay all your bills, after you do everything that you do throughout the month, after you make all the money that you make, you're actually losing money. So that's a great thing to know. So you'll know what you can cut. And then looking at your expenses, you can see I got Hulu, I got Netflix, and I got Disney Plus. I can at least get rid of one or two of them, and you can possibly get back to the positive, which will be not in parentheses. I did not change. It doesn't change colors. It just put it in parentheses. And then with investment, like I said, once you put your investment amount, it will total that up as well. But it doesn't do anything with your savings. That's only with your expenses and with your income. Don't have anything else. That's all over there. And then I have this one spot right here that says other bills. So that is something that you might not pay, or you might pay every month, but it has a finite end. So you have student loans, you have credit cards. For me, I personally put that down here so I can know how much total is in there. So if I have a car note, it is, I don't know, $11,000. So I put 11. I put car note. If I can spell car correctly, car note, and $11,000. Oh, that's not $11,000. That's way too much. $11,000. So even though I might put car note and expenses as well, I also go put it down here because I know once I pay $11,000, it is done. So I have a visual representation of how much that is. I've also put my student loans down there. And then also I have a credit card. So I put that down there as well. And then that also has a total, which is right here as well. This is not added to your savings. The only two things that are with your savings, let me scroll up a little bit, is your expenses and your income, because that is what's going in and what's going out every month. Boom. Let's erase that because that's not true. Okay, next page. Let me make sure I said everything on here. Okay, one other thing I don't want to forget is I do not have a slot for cash. So if you like to carry around cash and you don't put your money in a bank account or anything, or a, what do you call it? Why am I blanking on the name? A credit union. That's what I'm trying to think of. So if you don't put your money in a bank account or a credit union, and you just carry cash, which I think is a bad idea, because if you lose that cash, it is lost. Where if you have an account, you can have records of it and possibly get your money back. But I don't have a spot, so if you do want to put a spot for cash, like I said, I'll show you how to do that if you want to do that. So on to, I don't think it turned red. Okay, just to double check, 600 and let's say 200. I'm trying to, also it do turn red. So I lied to you earlier. So this do turn red if it's in the negative. Your savings will turn red. It will have parentheses and turn red. Okay, so let's clear that up. So you will see red. Boom. And then it will stay green like money if you are in the black, as they say. Okay, now let's move on. Okay, so I am going to move on over. I'm going to pass overall because that's a little easier, and go into your monthly expenses that you have. So like I said, January through December, if you just scroll over, they are all the same. They're all the same. So I'm not going to go through all of them because that'd be a waste of your time, a waste of my time. Okay, so back to January. So expenses. Now, this is something that I actually updated this year, which I'm really excited about. So when you go to proposed budget and you put in, let's say, rent for the first one, and let's say $600. When you go to January and every other month, it also gonna populate there. So you're gonna see exactly all your bills for every month. You don't have to retype it 12 times. It's gonna populate. You go write it one time and it's gonna populate in all of them. So, but that only happens if you put it on the proposed budget tab. If you put it in February, let's put bill number 2 in February. Let's say this is phone. If I can spell, that's phone. Is not gonna populate everywhere else. It's just gonna be in February. So make sure that when you do it in proposed budget. So let's get rid of that. Go into that. So we can erase that. But the amount doesn't carry on. And the reason why I did that is because I want you to put the amount in when you pay it. Don't have it come in just because that's how much you think. Because if you do it that way, you're not gonna know the right amount. Or I mean, for rent you might know because you pay the same amount of rent every month. But for food or something like that, it's not gonna be the same every month, or it might not be. Maybe some of you guys maybe would be able to do that, but I like to eat, so sometimes it's not the same. Okay, so back to January. So I use this column for my income. So any money that I spend for my income, which is basically my what do you call it? My bank account, my direct deposit, that is what this is coming from. Now, some people like to use credit cards. I am not one of those people because from past experiences, I know it's a bad thing for me. So I keep away from credit cards. But if you're somebody who's responsible or if you like to use credit cards, I put a spot for you to put that in as well. So let's say, and then you can change the name. Put, I don't know, what's the name of a credit card? Chase. I don't know. Chase has a credit card, right? So you put it here. I did not have it mapped to this, so you will have to put it here too. And then let's say every month, because you're responsible, you pay your rent. Let me put rent back here. So it'll populate. But every month you pay your rent with your Chase credit card. So I will put 600 here because I pay my rent, and then it populates down there with the total. Red does not mean you're in the negatives or anything. That's just the color that I chose for the total amount at the bottom. And then what I usually do, if it's a bill that I only have to pay once a month, I color in the other slots that are in that same row, like that. So now I know I don't have to pay that. I don't have to worry about trying to pay it again or anything like that. And then with the credit card, you want to keep track of that. So you'll take that amount out of whatever you have here. So let's say you had $1,200 here at the beginning of the month, and you paid your rent. Now it's at $600. But you do want to keep track because with credit cards, as you probably already know, they have interest rates and stuff like that. So you want to make sure it's the exact amount because even though you pay $600, you might, if you don't pay on time, you're gonna have to pay back more than $600. So keep track of that. So let's put this back. Erase that. So once you I want to name this back to 1. Okay. So we're back in January. Bills are back. Miscellaneous. So this is something different than just putting it in right here. So with miscellaneous, because you don't know what's gonna happen, you have to buy. What do you have to buy? I don't know, a new tire, or you went to the movies, or you did something. So let's say, let's say I went to the movies. I had movies. So this is part of miscellaneous. So I put the word movies. I put the total amount. Let's say I spent $20, and then that will populate right there, and it will populate. No, if you put it here, it populate here. If you put it here in this row, and if you put it here in that row, and then that's gonna add up all your miscellaneous charges. So you will know I had to get a car repair in January, and I had to fix my I don't know fix my computer in February. So you'll have those different miscellaneous items on here, so you'll know exactly where it came from. Well, let's put this back to credit card one. Ooh. Card one. Credit card one. Okay. And then same thing with income. So let's say I work at McDonald's. I used to work at McDonald's when I was in high school. And let's say, and every time I get my check, so with McDonald's, I get paid twice a month. So my first check, I get paid, I don't know, $900, which probably never happened, but let's just say I get paid $900 for my first check. So I put that there, and that populates, and then it also populates in the end of the month balance. Even though it's not the end of the month yet, any income that you have that you put in here, will populate right here. So then at the end of the month, whatever you have as your end of the month for January will be your beginning of the month in February. So you don't have to worry about trying to bring it over to the next month. It automatically does that. And then let's say I got another job at I don't know, I like fast food restaurants, so we will work at Wendy's as well. I said Wendy's, oops. Work at Wendy's too, and I made only $500 because I only worked the weekends there. And now I got $1,400 at the end of the month, and $14 at the beginning of the month. And then again, it's gonna populate here too because that's how much money you have at the beginning or be at the end of the month. But you don't have to worry about that because it's gonna, of course, change. This is gonna change as you get more income and as you lose income. Ooh, I should bring that up too. So let's say I made $900 this week and $500 this week from fast food restaurants somehow, and my first bill, I paid my rent. Boom, I took the $600 off of there, as well as in February, and now you know this is how much money should be in my account right now, or wherever you have it. This is how much money I have. Okay, so we see how that works. And then again, with miscellaneous, it all gonna add up right here. Credit cards. So I don't have anything special for credit cards, so I didn't put it in the end of the month, end of the month category, because for me, credit cards is something totally different that I don't like to deal with. I mean, I deal with it, but I don't like to use it on a regular basis. So I keep that separate. If I have to use it, I know how much money I have in each credit card, just so I can keep track of it that way. Like I said, with credit cards, I keep it in my other budget, my other bills pile, so I know exactly how much money is in each of my credit cards. So that's that. Do I have anything else I need to add? Okay, with savings, you have to manually put these in. So let's say at the so and the reason I did that because I didn't want it to seem like it's automatic. With savings, you have to put it somewhere. It's not like, oh, I have this much money at the end of the month, so that's how much money I save. Nope. You have to physically take it out of whatever income you have or whatever debit card or bank account and put it somewhere separately. So it is something that you don't even see unless you need it. So that's the reason why I have it connected to anything. So you put your total savings for that month or total savings overall in the total savings pot. This is January. So let's say from last year I had $1,000 saved up. So I will put that there, and then at the end of the month, I saved $200 in January. So the reason why end of the month it took it away from the end of the month is because that money is no longer in your account. That money is away in your savings account, under a mattress, in a different account that you don't want to touch. So it's away. It's out of this. It's out of the end of the month. And then for February, um, now your total savings will be $1,200. And then whatever you save in February, you'll put right here. Okay. Boom. That's that. Do I have anything else? I think I talked about credit cards. Again, this is not automatic. It's not going to automatically take out if you put it here. If you put in expenses, you have to put in expenses as well as take it out your credit card. And then this also gets you to look at your credit card statement every month so you know exactly how much money is in there, and you can put it right there so you can know as well. So you can always know. And then right here, whenever I pay off a credit card or pay down a credit card, I update it right here as well. Try to keep myself updated on all my financial endeavors because I want to be successful. Okay, and I hope you do too. Okay, now on to the last part of my budget, personal budget template. But before I go, I want to make sure I did hit everything that I said I was going to hit. Okay, so when you're doing this, it is important for you to also, for me, to help me record my different income, or not income, my different expenses. I keep receipts. Whenever I go to a restaurant, whenever I go to a store or somewhere, I make sure I keep the receipt and I use that receipt to calculate my expenses. Of course, I go to my account to make sure everything is lined up the way it's supposed to be on my budget, but I get my receipts everywhere. Sorry. And that just helps me. Like some places they don't have physical receipts, so that's when you have to go to your account to see how much, to make sure that amount was taken out correctly, and then put it in your budget or your expense. Oh, sorry. But receipts is the one thing I keep. And you probably, if you know me, you probably see my wallet full of receipts. But then once I record my budget, record it on my budget, I throw it away. I don't need it anymore after that. But sometimes I don't work on my budget every day, so sometimes it's piled up in my wallet and it looks a mess. And sometimes I be feeling like people think I'm crazy, but I'm not. All right, on to the last part of my personal budget template. This is probably the simplest part, and this is probably the part I like the best because it is the overall for the entire year. So this is basically all my expenses for January are right here. All my expenses for February is right here. Everything that I took in, all the money I took in is right here. All the money I took in from right here. And then all the savings I have for each month is right here. And then it adds it right here. So that will be the total for each of them. And then this is the average per month. And I like looking at averages per month because it lets me see a different perspective on how I spend my money. I like I for my other ones I did have a special one for food because like I said I spent a little too much money on food, and I was like, man, I'm not gonna say exactly how much because it was pretty ridiculous. But on my one from last year, I had a spot just for food, and it's amazing how much money I spend on food. But anyway, besides the point, this is the report you do nothing with. You don't have to write anything on here. All you do is look at it every month if you want to. You don't have to look at it every month. But at the end of the year, you'll get to see how much money you spent for that year, how much money you brought in for that year, and you might actually be surprised. This past year in 2019, I was definitely surprised about how much money I brought in, and I was like, where did it all go? And then I look at my food and like, there it is, there all my money. But anyway, those are the three main templates or tabs for my personal budget template. You have the personal budget, which again, so let's say for your personal budget, your rent was $600, but you end up changing the place that you live, and now it went down to $540. So you just go in here where it says rent. Instead of $600 that you had before, you go ahead and put five. I said what? What did I say? $540, and you just change it. Simple as that. And then everything is going to change. Like the savings is going to change. The total expenses is going to change. And that's about it. Let's say you got another job, or you got a new job. You no longer work at McDonald's. You moved up, and now you work at Chick-fil-A. You know they be giving some good wages. You're like, you know what? I'm about to move up in the world. I don't even know how to spell Chick-fil-A, and I go there way too much. I'm just gonna call it Chick for now because I don't want to look retarded. Anyway, you work at Chick-fil-A now. Now you instead of making $900 a month, you're making $1,200 a month. Boom. Now, just based off your rent and how much money you make from Chick-fil-A a month, this is how much money you should be saving every month. And the great thing about this report is that if you don't see that savings that you're supposed to get every month, you can make a change. And then how do you make that change? You see, and you get to see exactly where it's coming from. So in January, you have rent, you have food, you have electric bill, you have phone bill. You're like, I was supposed to have $200 in savings this month, and I ain't got nothing. What happened? You can just go to your expenses and be like, oh, I see why. Because I spent $500 on food, and I was supposed to be spending. Let's go back. And you put in food. I was supposed to be spending $200 on food. Oh, I see what happened. So now for the next month in February, you can work on it. You'd be like, I spent $500 on food in January. Let me at least try to bring it down $100 this month so I can get to that proposed budget that I put for myself. But that is, I believe, everything I have for my budget template, my personal budget template. I hope it made sense. If it didn't make sense, or if I skipped over something that you wanted more information on, or if you want to ask questions about anything that I have for my expense sheet, all you have to do is DM me on Facebook. Oh, let's be job 1. Bill 1. Sorry, I can't do too many things at one time, so give me a second. Okay, so if you have any questions about anything that I just went over, if you want to make a small adjustment to this personal budget because maybe you have 11 bills instead of 10. All you have to do is either DM me on Facebook at the Lazenby Experience, or you can email me at lazenbyexperience@gmail.com. So do any of those things, and I would definitely be willing to help you out because that's what I want to do. I want to help you along your journey to your success. And I really like that slogan. I think it's something that is, I finally figured out like something that I think I will be doing for the rest of my life. So that's that. And thank you. Thank you for listening to my first episode. I am very excited about this podcast and what this will bring to people who want to be successful in whatever journey they decide to go into. I really hope you learned something from it, and I really hope this helps you along your journey, like I said already. And like I'm going to continue to say, if you have any questions about anything that I went over today or any of the topics I go over in the future, always just email me at lazenbyexperience@gmail.com. I have email on my phone, so I make sure I check it every day. I just want to be another resource for you that you can use to be successful. So a few last things I want to talk about before the end of the episode. First thing, if you have any topics that you would like me to cover, whether it's experience I went over or experience I had or experience that I know somebody else had, I want to help you along the way. So please just email me and let me know about that topic. I have a lot of topics that I want to go over, but a lot of my topics are geared towards college and being successful in that way, which I also think could help you in other paths that you might take. But if you have something specific that you want for me to talk about, please just hit me up, either DM me or email me, and I will gladly. If I didn't go through that experience, I'm pretty sure I can find somebody else who went through that experience. So just let me know. Second, like I've said a couple times throughout this video, if you would like this personal budget template, there's three simple things that I want you to do. Like my Facebook page, subscribe to my YouTube channel, both at the Lazenby Experience, and then just hit me up either through email or DM and say, hey, I liked your page, I followed your channel, and I want that template. Just let me, and then I can send it to you. Just that easy. So I want you to be successful, but I also want to help other people be successful. So if you do that, I can get more people to look at the work that I have and help other people along the way. And if you do not have Excel, I know for me it's free because I'm a student, but some people you actually have to pay for it. So if you don't have Excel, most likely you do have a Gmail account, and they have a free Google Drive which have Google Sheets in it, which is almost like Excel or Microsoft Excel. And this does a lot of the same things. I can send it to you that way, and that way you can actually have it on every device that you use, that you can get through your email to. So you can update it on your phone, update it on your laptop, update it on your tablet, where on the template that I have for Microsoft Excel, you have to, well, I guess you don't, because if you download the app on your phone, you can probably get it that way too. But it probably better seen on your computer. But if you don't have Excel, I still want you to be able to use it. So let me know in the email that you do not have Excel or don't have access to Excel, and I can send it to you through Google Sheets. So that way you can still keep track of your budget. But I think that is everything that I have for this episode. I really enjoyed doing this episode. I'm going to enjoy doing the rest of the episodes. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something from it. Please, like I said, subscribe and like to my pages. leave a comment so I can get better, because I do want to get better. As you all know, this is my first episode, so of course it's not going to be perfect, but as I go along the way, I do want to get better. I want to reach more people. I want to just be the person that can help you along your way or your journey to your success. So until next time, continue your journey until you reach your success. Thanks for listening to the Lazenby Experience podcast with me, Joshua Lazenby. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something to help you along your journey to your success. The Lazenby Experience podcast will continue to be available anywhere you listen to podcasts, including Facebook, YouTube, and Apple Podcasts. If you really enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave a rating, and write a comment. For any questions, you can reach me at lazenbyexperience@gmail.com. Until next time, continue your journey until you reach your success.